What is up? We are back after having a week off of getting my tooth extracted. They got taken it out. They took it right out, man. I was in pain for the rest of the day last Thursday, and then I felt better on Friday. I started feeling better, but I couldn't eat anything solid. I had to eat like mac and cheese and mashed potatoes and eggs and stuff like that for a couple of days. And now I'm back in business eating.
Had a couple smoothies.
Yeah, a couple of smoothies, ice cream. I went crazy on the ice cream, and and so now I can eat normal food. I still got to be careful on that side because it still has stitches and everything, still healing. So I got to go back next week for a checkup to make sure everything's looking good, and hopefully they'll take out the stitches. If not, I'll probably have stitches for the next 2 weeks after next week.
They don't dissolve?
No, they don't dissolve. No, not these. I don't know because it's the gums. Maybe I don't know.
No, because like I got my wisdom teeth pulled, right?
Yeah,
and those dissolved.
I think I remember mine being the same way. This is I don't know what's the difference between my wisdom when we're taken out and the one molar that got taken out. I mean, I don't like. To me, it's
the dentist.
Probably. I don't know. Oh,
yeah, because
one thing because they had to fill in the socket with bone. That was the thing.
That's what I was gonna say. Cause see, one dentist I went to pull one side, like they had abscess, and that guy, he was adamant about putting synthetic bone in there.
Mm-hmm.
That was extra $500 that wasn't covered by insurance.
Wow.
Well, I didn't know there were synthetic. They gave me cadaver bone. So.
Oh.
Wow.
So it
it's either either or, right?
Yeah.
And he ended up coming down to 150. And
how'd you deal with that? Like, hey, yo, man,
I said because I really liked him.
Oh.
I really liked him. Like he was strong. I don't know if you ever had like a woman like try to baby a tooth out of your head, and it's like you can hear all the crunching. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of yanking, and it's a lot of like, oh man, he did it like he did the topical anesthetic, and he pulled it so smooth, like
yoink.
I don't want to say pain free, but it was fast.
Yeah.
And so I wanted him to do it, but then the next time we got another insurer. So I had to go to another guy. He's like, you don't need that. Because what they tell you is if you need dentures or implant, then they can use that. It's like, shoot, man, that's my wisdom teeth. You know, if I get dentures, just make sure I have some to cover the front and to eat with.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need a synthetic bone or either a cadaver bone. I didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
This is like, ew.
Yeah.
But I guess if you need a heart transplant, it's the same thing, but.
Yeah, I was in there for an hour, man. They had me under. They gave me the anesthetic and everything, and even at the moment where she was gonna pull it, dude, this shock went through my mouth was open, and this pain went through my mouth, and I couldn't shut it because she's in there, right? And I go, I just let out a little yelp. I'm like, and she's like, "Oh, it still hurts." It's like, "Yeah, it still hurts." It's like, "All right, let me put some more in there." You know, she didn't put enough, and then. After the more anesthetic she gave me, she just like, boop, it popped right out, man.
Yeah, they're stingy. They're stingy with that numbing, right? What do you call that? It's anesthesia, but whatever. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, it's just some
right. They're stingy with it because they only charge you once for it, right? They only charge you once, and so if you say it still hurts, right? They gave you what they designated for you. So they don't want to give you any more, but they will if you say so.
It is?
Because it costs them money, but they're not going to make more money. They're losing money as they see it, you know.
If you can
tell, oh shit, man! If I'm in pain and I'm be like, yo, you better give me some more, and then they don't, I'm be like, yo, I'm gonna leave you a bad Google review.
But you know, like dudes, right? If you just sit there and tough it out, they made money, right?
Yeah.
But it was so bad. The next time when I got the other wisdom teeth pulled, I paid extra for the laughing gas.
Oh, the laughing gas is awesome. I had that.
You wake up and it's gone.
Yeah.
I never had a tooth pulled or anything, but around early January, I'm gonna do that, right? And so my insurance has like $1,000 of of coverage, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like that, for pretty much anything, right? And so one of my coworkers, he's like, "Oh, I go to Forest Hills in Queens. That's where my dentist is." I'm like, "Oh, that's where my girl is. You definitely gotta give me that number." So it's this old Indian dude, man. That's exactly what I want. Somebody who's old school at this stuff. His wife is the secretary, bro. That's exactly what I need, bro. So I'm gonna get it done properly, laughing gas, whatever it needs. I'm sure he knows the proper technique, so it's as pain free as possible. Man, I'm not trying to deal with none of that stuff, bro.
You want the laughing gas. Laughing gas.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want everything I need. I'm not trying to deal with that stuff, bro.
I don't know if that's gonna be. It wasn't covered for me. Yours might be better than mine. Like, but if you can get it, because like it can be painful. Like,
yeah.
And then sometimes, man, your teeth are just strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're rooted. If they're not like rotten and ready to come out, it's gonna take some work.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad, she was in there, man. After she took out the tooth, she was in there cleaning out the socket, man. She was like scraping like shit, man. I was like, I can't. All I could think of is her just digging into the bone right there in my mouth, right? Until she had to do her.
She's scratching out all the infection and all.
She's cleaning all that.
Seal it up later. Yeah, all it's gonna do is it's gonna fester more again, and she's gonna seal it back in there. It'll be worse if she doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why she's like, I gotta clean this out. I gotta clean this out.
Yeah.
That's what she was telling me, man. But yeah, I'm glad I got it.
Speaking of cleaning out,
that tooth, man, that tooth was loose. Like it got to the point where it's like, man, I think I could just pull this bitch out,
Right.
And then,
but it's gonna leave a hole.
It's gonna leave a hole, exactly, and it's gonna get all bacteria and nasty, and so that's why she has to go in there, and scrape out all the crap, and then fill it up with some bone and stitch it up, and I'm good to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
But speaking of,
and for the people on the camera, hold on, I got something to show you guys. Bam! There's my tooth.
They let you take it?
Hell yeah! I want my tooth, and she's like, "Oh." So I'm sitting there on that chair thing, and I got the two nurses, or the doctor and the nurse, and they're going over the post-op regimens you got to do, and yada yada yada, these medicines, and pick up prescription and so on and so forth, and I go, okay, cool, man, sounds great and everything. It's like, all right, where's the tooth anyways? And she's like, oh, it's right there on the table, and it's all bloody still and everything. And I remember the picture you showed it. Yeah, and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, you know what? Go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll take it. And then they're like, ha 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 ha, and I was like, well, I'm not kidding. I'm being for real. Wrap it up and give it to me. And they were just like, I was like, oh, okay. And the doctor said, all right, go ahead and clean it up and put in a little sealed pouch and give it to this man. He wants his teeth.
That's his freaking teeth, man.
It's my tooth, man. I paid good money for you guys to pull it. You think I'm just gonna let you keep my tooth?
You some goddamn money, goddamn it! So you better get that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that thing is all nasty, man. Like,
I don't imagine.
Gross. So
you're not gonna use it as a biological weapon or something, are you?
No, I'm just gonna make it a necklace with my other two teeth.
Oh,
I'm like.
A necklace of your own teeth?
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly.
Isn't it supposed to be something else's teeth, not your own?
I know. It's like that's how baller I am, man. I pull my own teeth and I wear it. That's how I do things.
Oh man.
All right, man.
Yo, man. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Breaking news from an hour ago.
I know, but you know what? I've been playing Cocoon. Cocoon is mad good, if you haven't played it. You play Cocoon?
No,
it's like a 2-hour game. It's not that hard. It's really
what
cool.
kind of game is it?
It's a puzzle game. It's a puzzle multi-level puzzle game. Also finished. What else did I finish? Man, somebody's home. Damn it.
No.
Download it because
so you messaged
Tokyo.
Earlier, bro.
I finished Benedict Fox, Ghostwire Tokyo, Bramble. If you like Little Nightmares type game, then play Bramble. It's good.
Bramble, I've heard this thing.
It's good.
Yeah, it's yeah. It wouldn't because I was playing it on the Ally, and you know the place where you get to the river, like, and you're doing a lot of rafts at the end. I know it's almost the end.
Yeah.
But it stopped working, so I quit.
Oh, for real?
Like I couldn't push the raft.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry.
I know, man. Dang.
Nah, but it's a good
I
game.
quit.
Though. Yeah, I couldn't stop playing. I was like, dude, this is like Little Nightmares. This is a pretty badass game. Got some good characters there. There was a battle scene
really good
towards the end
graphics.
that I didn't. I was like, dude, I can't stand that boss, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Cocoon
Was the
and
boss difficult?
I actually couldn't figure out how I could beat it until I had to look it up on YouTube. I'm like, man, I ain't got time to be wasting this. I want to see how you beat this lady. Looked it up. I was like, man, are you serious? Was that obvious? I'm like, all right. So once I saw what it was on YouTube, I was like, all right, now I can get down and dirty and beat this one boss. Wasn't too bad.
Cocoon,
Worked out.
it's on the list of games that are easy or short to beat.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on PC, it says I forgot what it says.
What, Cocoon?
Short to beat.
Cocoon?
Mhm.
Time to beat or whatever. Yeah, there's some extinction or whatever that tells you all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, it tells you time to beat, but there's a list of games that are short.
Yeah, I like short games, just like that one, like Cocoon and Bramble. They're not that long, and it's like, but you get it. It's good. They're good games, and even when they're short. The thing Bramble is
Yeah,
it's about 4 hour. Oops, sorry, 4 hour game.
you beat Bramble in 4 hours.
Roughly, yeah, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Took me. I'm at the end, and
Yeah.
it stopped working, so that's why I reinstalled it. Maybe they fixed it because I know I'm not the only one that has the issue.
Yeah.
But I've been playing it for 7 hours.
Oh damn,
Wow. Cool.
it's cool, man. Yeah, let's get into this, man. I don't know if you saw this, realist, man, but I mean, we all knew about this. I mean, we kind of all, thought about that this was going to happen.
It finally ends the conversation, the debate that's been going on. That's the
an
most
update
important
on The
aspect
Last
of
of Us Online. In short, it's canceled. It's not going to happen. They're not going to get it, and that's that.
Yep.
And I've seen some comments say, "Come on, Xbox community, don't be that way. Don't be happy that the PlayStation guys got the thing canceled." Like, oh really? Now we're supposed to be the good guys, right?
F that, bro.
Yeah.
Because if it was us,
Xbox fans are always supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah.
F that, man.
Well-
I'm gonna be honest. As toxic as I feel like being, which isn't too
Yep.
much, but I will bring it up, point and laugh.
Yeah. It's
We're
just,
always the good guys. We're always the ones that have to be honest
they have
and
to be the
unbiased.
better person. Be the
Right,
better
yeah.
person. Man, fuck that, man. We'll
It's
make
always
fun
the
of 'em.
one who's gonna benefit from me being the bigger person is always the one asking me to be the bigger. Like the hell with you, because you aren't the bigger person. Why should I? Nah, bro.
Nah.
After
Oh, yeah.
countless times, man, we going in if we feel like it. I really don't. I'll point and laugh and move on because there's always gonna be something else with these dudes. Lately, it's been nothing but. And then
Remember that dragon game that got canceled on the Xbox One?
Scalebound.
Scalebound?
Scalebound.
Yeah, and
Yep.
how were they clowning then? Who? Yeah,
Mm.
They're still clowning.
they still
They
clowning.
still clown over that, man. So listen, we owe you at least that long of clowning over this.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
ah.
We can clown you for at least as long as you did that, because you still do, right? I forget when they first announced that at E3 or how long that's been, but we at least owe you that much.
Hell, man, I think wasn't it during launch? Eric, time or something?
No, it was later in the
It was
generation.
later.
It was
because
at E3.
it was like 2 or 3 years before Phil went in and said, "To hell with this."
Yeah,
Yeah, Punty says take the high road. Man,
nah.
Yeah, that's because Punny is a pony bot.
pony body. Ain't taking no high
That's
road.
what that's what pony bots do. They're like, "Hey guys, we got to be the bigger guys, and we got to hold Xbox accountable." Like those are the trademarks of the pony bot.
Yeah.
Hey, Tech, I'm asking you a question in the thing. I don't want to say it because I don't want to, bring it up now if we're going to talk about it as a separate subject.
Oh man, you talk about it. Be about it, man. Let's do it. We
All
will.
right then, man.
Sony.
Yo,
hacks.
yo.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the Sony hacks, but like I just said about this Naughty Dog thing, right? like I'm a point, laugh, and move on because there's always something else to point and laugh at, right? Like especially with Sony lately, it's constant stream, right? But one thing that seems to be a holiday tradition with Sony nowadays is Sony getting hacked.
Is that part of the where the accounts were being banned or suspended? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this was Insomniac themselves.
Oh, Insomniac. That's right. They did.
That happened before.
Yeah.
And I think last time we were on, we were talking about maybe there's a correlation between the last hack and the fact that, you know, so many people were getting banned or whatever, right? And that maybe there was a correlation we didn't know because we still haven't heard the results of that hack. Because you know how it, like we said before, like you know how it is. Usually with these hacks, like at first, they don't reveal to the public. You know, they talk to the authorities and they keep it all tight-lipped while they do their, you know, investigations. Then they'll publicly announce it, and then later on we'll hear the results of their investigations. We never heard no results about investigations. The next thing we heard about was people getting banned, and now we're hearing about this next hack. Now, was this the Insomniac hack all along? Was that the same hack? I kind of doubt it, but even if it was or wasn't, it doesn't really matter. It's a holiday tradition, it seems, nowadays, for Sony to get hacked and then DDoS, right? Like the consoles and even PC will get DDoS by Lizard Squad or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Sony will get it worse because, you know, their networking and blah, blah, blah is way crappier than either Microsoft or Valve. So while Microsoft and Valve may feel it and it may be, you know, varying degrees of bad, right? But with PlayStation, it's always horrible.
No, it's always like a guarantee it's going to happen.
Yeah. No. It happens to everybody, but how bad is it? Because I'm talking about the DDoS attacks, when they slow down, they just, send a wave of packets, to slow down the network to keep the network occupied. So us legit users.
Hell, man, I'm afraid to power on mine. I've disconnected. My system is in the closet right now because it's just sitting there. I got nothing to play, right?
Yeah.
Until after Christmas, I may get something. But I had mine in the closet. And Punty's probably gonna say pause closet.
Nah, he's probably gonna say something R. Kelly. Something R. Kelly related would be the better joke, I guess.
It was before all the hacks and the account bans that's been happening lately. I put mine in the closet after I downloaded Spider-Man Remastered because it was on sale for $24. I think I told you that last time.
I just realized I'm on the wrong mic. I was on my camera mic.
No, you sounded fine.
Now I'm on my Xbox headset mic. How do I sound now?
You've always
you sound the same.
Yeah, it sounds the same.
Maybe I actually was on this mic, but.
And so I downloaded Spider-Man, and then I turned it off and put the console back into the closet, and then it's been sitting there. And then all this other crap started happening, the ban, the hacks, and then like, oh crap, man, I might as well leave it offline right now. Don't even pop it online. And I still haven't used my new purple controller.
Because I went away early. I muted my mic early because I hit my foot and I was yelling, screaming, God damn it! I don't know if you heard any of that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, thank God. Because I always, ooh, wow.
I don't know if you're watching the video, but I got me a new Xbox hoodie. Nice green.
Oh, hold on. Because you were supposed to put the feed, in the thing. So hang on a second. Let me look.
Right. That's right. You like the feed on the feed.
It's easier because they'll be in sync.
Yeah, nice dark green with the logo on it. But I wish the logo was a little bit darker because it kind of fades into the green.
Where'd you get it from?
Online on the Xbox Gear. They had it on sale for Black Friday.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah, I see you now.
Oops.
Look good.
Because I got one from Target.
Did you?
Yeah,
black. Target, they got another fridge now, a bigger one. But this time I think it's actual refrigeration.
Well, they got one Minecraft version.
I'm just waiting for
it's $200.
I'm just waiting for the waterproof Series S speaker.
Facts.
Then I can use that in the shower.
Yo.
I mean, because DJ Khaled thought it was a radio, remember?
Yeah, this hoodie, man, it's nice and thick. Pause. Nice and thick, man. Yeah, it's nice. I thought it was gonna be like some cheapo like material and stuff. Man, this ain't no cheap material at all, man. This is really nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So perfect for today. So yeah, this sucks. I mean, it sucks for. I mean, no, fuck it, man. This is what they deserve right here. They get how long they been waiting since the development of The Last of Us 2, right? Is when they've been saying, you guys gonna get online. You got factions, and you got some people saying, oh man, faction gonna come first before Starfield. Oh, this is gonna come first. You know, faction gonna come first before this and that and this other Xbox game.
Said that about Starfield.
Exactly. Yeah,
don't forget, factions was supposed to be on. Remember, Last of Us 2 was on PS4. We've been missing factions since last generation, bro. Like this is because we all know what it would have been. It was Xbox. You already said, but it's always the test. I always say that. Put the shoe on the other foot, and you'll instantly know if it's being fair or not. And when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, you know, it's never like that. It's never treated that way. Like,
did you guys see today? This morning, I saw it early this morning. Somebody took the Blade trailer cover and put PlayStation on there. Yeah. And it says, it looks like it's kind of play. And they put a link there, like a YouTube link. And I'm reading the comments for it because I didn't want to click on it. I was like, man, is this because I started falling for it. Like, man, is this true? Is this for man? It better not be true, right? So I kept reading the comments. And you could tell who the PlayStation guy.
I'm disappointed on you. I'm disappointed in you that you
I know. But it's early in the morning. I still haven't woken up yet. Right?
I get you. I felt the same way. But it's exactly what I tweeted, man. I put that J Fry emoji where he squinted his eyes. That's exactly what I did as soon as I saw that.
Yeah. And so I'm reading the comments and like it was kind of a mixed bag, right? And then because people were saying, it's like you can tell who didn't click on the link, right? You can tell who clicked on the link.
Nobody wanted to reveal what it was, to suss people out who's falling for it.
I know. And so I finally clicked on it and I started rolling my ass.
You got Rick rolled.
Got Rick rolled,
I didn't even know it was a Rick roll video. I thought it was just going to say, it was. But I never clicked on it. I don't even know later on.
A couple of guys said, I got saved by the ads because they got the ads first. I didn't. I got Rick roll like straight up, man. And so everybody was commenting, said, man, everybody got exposed here, man. You can tell who was just reading the headline and not clicking on the link, right? And they were just going off of that and trying to, say burn Xbox. It's like it's in the PlayStation game too. And it turns out that it's nothing.
Yo, man, I love the Xbox community because this time somebody was thinking not one step ahead, 2 or 3 steps ahead, right? Because usually it would be a pony to do something like this, or at least pretend like, keep, the charade up that, the game is coming to PlayStation somehow, some way, right? And, like Reforge was doing. Like, he was stretching whatever stupid logic he was trying to come up with or whatever, right? Yeah. Like, that's the typical. So this Xbox guy or whoever did it, right, was thinking a couple steps ahead to see, no, that's what they would do. So let me do it first and rickroll everybody who falls for it.
Dog, I get mad at myself. It's like, how do these people think of the shit like this, man?
Because I'm disappointed in you, bro.
I was like, man, I want to come up with something like this one day.
It's the experience. It's the experience. How many times have we been through this crap?
Yeah.
Somebody already was like, he knows how the game plays out.
Yeah.
He knows the stereotypes of the situation. So instead, he did it first before anybody else did on our expense, So caught them. And this is what I'm saying. Like, when I was talking about that first subject, I'm pointing, laughing, and moving on. I could be as petty as them, but I have so many other things.
No, I will laugh too, man. I'm with you.
But it's because it's a daily thing. We already have a new thing to laugh about, before this day was done. And there was some other stuff, I think, earlier today already. I forget what it was. But, like, so it's at least 2 things today. Like, it used to be a weekly thing where these PlayStation fanboys, like the beginning of this generation or before this generation began, I've said this many times, right? Like, they would put out some kind of lie that they would perpetuate until the end of the week when we would hear the truth, right?
Yeah.
And then they would all stupid for it to be repeated again the next week. Now it's a nearly daily occurrence, if not multiple times a day. These stupid donkeys is out here saying this dumb crap, and it gets proven wrong, or that they were lying all along, or whatever the detail is, all the time. So, it happens so often, how it's going to end. So one guy thought ahead, and he rickrolled a lot of folks was falling for it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of disappointed with the Iron Lord, like particularly Addict. Like, I love the Iron Lords. I love it, but he keeps trying to like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. It's just like
trying to bring everybody
man.
together, shit.
What's his name on C Money's show yesterday? I believe his name is Chris, right? He said, like, where's the common sense at? Like, Microsoft owns Bethesda. What makes you think any of this stuff is coming to PlayStation? It's coming to Xbox.
Because they're gonna always go
PC.
back to the comment that Phil said. It's a case by case basis.
Whatever the hell, man. I don't care about none of that crap. Where's your common sense at? No, it's not happening. You already know. Why even Xbox does fall for that even for a little bit? I don't even know why. I don't care that they didn't put the logos there at the end of the thing. They own Bethesda. They got the deal. It's not going anywhere. You wouldn't question Sony if they didn't put a logo.
Yeah.
Nobody would question it. So why are we doing that? I'm disappointed in anybody in the Xbox community, and including yourself, for even considering that even for a millisecond. Like, and
it's like,
just
even you, Tech.
And Addict, same thing. I'm so beyond tired of this crap. We've been through this so many times. How many times do we have to go through this before you get it through your thick skulls?
I don't
Where's
know,
the common
man.
sense
Sorry.
at? Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe the meds, from your
maybe it's still lingering around. Yeah.
Man, you get a pass. I give you a pass.
It went straight up to the brain.
And I get what Addict is saying and all that too, but come on, man. That's just more of like a dialogue you want to, do. He's made multiple videos on it since, right?
Yeah.
Like and it's good fodder, for conversation, I guess, on his YouTube chat. But come on, man. It's not coming, and we all know it. And anybody who thinks that's just straight high on that copium, bro. That extra strength copium.
Extra.
That's what it is.
After Indiana Jones,
man.
And you still haven't figured it out. Like, that's why I kind of tired of Twitter, because a lot of people just say dumb stuff. Like case by case basis. That's just corporate talk, right? They know. We know that they're going through court, right? We know the FTC still hasn't given up, so they're not gonna play their hand. They're not gonna tell us everything that's going on. Indiana Jones, everybody was worried if that was going to be exclusive or not. I said, that's going to be exclusive because Phil Spencer's always wanted a Tomb Raider.
Love it.
What's fun? He's always wanted a Tomb Raider. And so, like, you got these people, any of these, like, YouTubers that associate with ponies, like, don't pay attention to them. Like, if they entertain you, they give you something to listen to when you're bored, fine. But don't look to them and expect them to like, react like real Xbox fans or, not try to play the good guy card because they got pony friends and they want to be on their podcast too. But you can pretty much like chalk it up. If it's a single player game, it's going to be exclusive.
Yeah.
Microsoft is smart enough to understand when it comes to multiplayer games, some of them might make sense on the platform.
Right.
They also know that at the end of the day, Xbox and PC is more than enough to carry a game.
It is more enough to carry the game. Right. But I'd like to add one thing in between what you're saying, right? With that case-by-case basis, right?
Yeah.
Case-by-case basis, it comes in a situation where everybody knows it on both sides. Xbox, PlayStation, PC, dudes, we all are like, oh, this game? Yup. That's going to be multiplat. Like, we know that already. Like, we will all see it and all agree as soon as it's announced. And Blade ain't that type of hype. It just ain't.
But look, Sick, case by case basis is just a way of being non-committal.
Right.
Like they case by case basis. They know when they announce a game where it's going. They know when one of the department heads, one of the studio heads brings it to the boardroom, they know what it's going to be. They do not need PlayStation. This is the brain fart of the PlayStation fan to believe that people actually need PlayStation. The PlayStation fan base is not. They're mostly casual gamers. So you're not going to bring new IP and say, "Oh, this is going to thrive because PlayStation has this huge install base." It's the PC guys that play just about anything. Then second is Xbox people.
Yep.
Switch people mostly play Nintendo games. PlayStation fans are there for the third party because PlayStation built their platform on third party IP.
Yep.
Oh no, my thing said stream ended.
Yeah, so click
But
back on it. He's fixing
yeah,
it.
I did. So yeah, that's why like most of they've trained their fan base to look for third party games. Your Maddens, like they always have their marketing deals. They always try to act like this is the only place you can play these games. So now people have associated all these third party games with PlayStation, right?
Yep.
And that's where you go for your mainstream multiplayer games. Like they do not need PlayStation to survive. And but they're gonna keep saying that. No single player game is gonna be multiplayer. Like
Yeah.
I still hear people Xbox channels say things like Hi-Fi Rush should go to Switch.
Idiots. Idiots.
Why? Okay.
I see
So
it.
when
I
is
see it. It fits. It fits.
if look,
No,
you
it
can
does.
that's
No, it
and,
doesn't.
and that's the problem, Sick. Like Phil Spencer says he looks at Nintendo and the thing that he envies most is their IP.
Yeah.
Right?
So
If
why
there's
would he
anything
give them
if there's
an IP that we got?
yeah, and if there's anything that he's looking to increase, it's E-rated content.
Right.
Because he sees how Nintendo's over there thriving. They don't want the blood. They don't want any of this stuff. And their games are selling a minimum of 20 million. I think ARMS probably sold like 12. That's the lowest selling one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Evolve.
Mario Party should be at 20 by now. You know what I mean? It's things like that that's what I've been saying. Microsoft sees what PlayStation's doing. They see what Nintendo's doing. They're gonna take what PlayStation does and fit it into what they do. They're gonna take what Nintendo does and fit it into what they do.
Right.
And Nintendo dominates when it comes to E-rated content and brand loyalty.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because you can say that PlayStation has brand loyalty, but very few people are there for PlayStation games.
Exactly.
You look at Nintendo. Just about everybody that bought a Nintendo, they're there for Nintendo games.
Yep.
And to me, Xbox
to a lesser
is
extent, but way more than PlayStation.
Yeah. Like because Xbox, I mean, the biggest generation was what Gen 7. What is that? Gen 7, 360. Yeah. So you back when it first came out, they moved like 22 million, whatever it was. Everybody was there for Halo. Everybody was there for Gears.
Yep.
And I think it's weird. I've been saying this. Why is it that people got tired of Halo and Gears, but nobody's been tired of Mario? You know what I mean? Like
since 1985, bro.
Yeah, they were on like the 18th Ratchet and Clank game. You know what I mean? But that game's never been a hit though. But I'm tired of these Xbox channels that have these so-called Xbox fans that go out of their way to say, "Oh, I play on everything, and I'm about gaming." It's like, dude, you don't see that stuff on the PlayStation channels. I don't listen to a bunch of PlayStation channels, but I see when PlayStation guys come to Xbox channels. I used to watch Kids Smooth. That's why I used to see the interactions. The way that the PlayStation fan talks about gaming is way different than Xbox. The Xbox fan has to be afraid that he likes Xbox when he's in the presence of ponies. The Xbox fan has to be realistic. The Xbox fan has to play both sides. PlayStation fans don't have to do that. Nope. So no, Xbox should not support Nintendo with any other game other than a multiplayer game. But guess what? Splatoon isn't on Xbox and PlayStation. Hell, PlayStation paid money to lock down Bubble Bath game.
Yep.
So, that like we gotta stop saying it's about money. Look, if it was only about money and not about console sales, they wouldn't be selling Series S's for $149 on holidays.
Yeah, I see that.
Thank you. And earlier when I said, certain things will be multi-plat and everybody will just know it as soon as they hear the name of the game. The textbook example. I know you know what it is. Wow. I'm so disappointed.
You're not talking about. Are you talking about a game that just came out or is about to come out?
Well, every year it comes out. It recently came out. This year's iteration.
Call of Duty.
Exactly. Like we all know now that they own it next year, right? Even this year, it's still on PlayStation, right?
But guess what, Sick?
Next year's it'll be on PlayStation.
Guess what, Sick? They only want to give them 3 years.
I know.
So all this Xbox needs
deal,
PlayStation. All these, yeah, they did.
Oh,
he bent the knee. Yeah, and then they fired his ass. But if you look at it, like, oh, most of it's gamers on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But Xbox only wanted to give them 3 years.
Right.
So what is it?
But-
That lets me know that Xbox was willing to get rid of them.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. See, it was obvious that they were going to do it because they signed a freaking contract. So there was no debate it was going to happen. But that was the only thing that was going to happen. And of course it was. Like, why there was any question from anybody is beyond me. It's embarrassing to see the community like, where's the common sense, bro? Where's the common sense? Especially if you know all the pieces of the puzzle, you stay informed on all the news and events and things that's going on, and then you're surprised. Like, oh, just because they put the logo, they gotta sit there and sit there and question. Like, come on, man. You would never do that to Sony if their logo was there or not. Why you hold Xbox
but sick.
We've gone through too much trauma.
Not nothing,
But sick.
frankly. But yeah,
Sick. Arcane is the logo. Bethesda is the logo.
Exactly.
In time, it's gonna take time.
Hey,
Right,
how many
because you got a lot-
arcades
you got-
are there anyways, man? We know of
Arcane
Austin,
Leon,
Atlanta.
Arcane Leon, and Arcane Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only two. Yeah.
So like, in time, it's gonna take them a little bit of time to recognize that all these 30 studios, they're Xbox, and to me, they're giving like Bethesda is still a publisher.
Yep.
Microsoft's buying publishers because publishers obviously knew what they were doing this long. We're just here to give them financial backing.
Yep.
But they'll know, like in time, that when Bethesda, Machine, Doom is not going to be multiplayer. I would bet
Nope.
on it.
Not the next one.
Wolfenstein either.
Nope. That's right.
Like these games in time, people are going to understand that when they show Machine, they don't need to show Xbox because it's only on Xbox.
Right.
Or
And-
if you don't put Xbox, okay, if you put out a trailer, we see Blade, right? There's
Mhm.
no PlayStation, there's no Xbox, there's no PC. Hold on, let me find out where I can play this game. You see what I'm saying? So when
Yep.
people go to find out where
Probably.
they can play this game, then they're gonna find out, oh, I can only play this on Xbox. Let me go get an Xbox. Look, I've been saying this whole time. Microsoft wants to sell more consoles. Xbox fans didn't like it when I said it because why is PlayStation number one? Number two, because they can sell more third-party content than anybody else in console without doing anything. Right?
Mhm.
This is why they can come out with one game all year. But they keep pushing these consoles out because you're gonna buy software for the console, and then they're also raising the price so they can make money off the console now.
Yep.
Take a page from Nintendo.
Right. And the whole reason this is all a loaded question because see, like, it's just like you're saying and explaining, right? You don't need the logo, but see, because I believe Microsoft did this on purpose. They could have clarified as soon as people started asking, right? Because Microsoft can be very proactive in clearing up, the confusion when they want, right? It's my belief they did that on purpose to break through that presumption that it will come to PlayStation from those who aren't in the know like that and just assume it's coming to PlayStation, and it will be a slow grind of eliminating that thought, that base assumption that everything comes to PlayStation just because, right? I was on C Money's podcast. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, right? And it was this one guy. He's there. He's in Portugal, right? And he's very correct when he says, "Joe, all they do out there is advertise place. They don't understand that there's anything else. They don't even know. It doesn't occur to them at all." And Sony spends a lot of time, money, and effort. You go to a soccer game, it's all over. Everything is PlayStation. They block, bundles. He gave the example of the Rock Band bundle, right? Back in the day on the 360. The game was also on PlayStation, but in Europe, the bundle was only PlayStation. They never, because Sony paid that money to make it so. Like, there's so many people don't know. A lot of these donkeys, they grew up like that. Even here in America, where it's not so much like that, that's all they know because that's what they grew up on. And I would say, today's generation is such whiny little bitches anyway. They don't get it. Even when the info is put in their faces, they're gonna sit there and fight it. but at least with the Europeans, I could say there's ignorance that's by design. And so I think this might even be a tactic by Microsoft to slowly erode that, right? Where every time they just presume, boop, no, it's Xbox. Really? And it keeps happening over and over and over. And next year it's gonna be a wave of that stuff. A wave. Hello?
Yeah. Waves after wave, baby.
happened to
Punty's asking, so realist. So you don't consider PC as an install base for Xbox?
I mean, he's obviously not listening, but okay.
When I'm watching Champions League games, it's PlayStation over all the billboards. Exactly. Everything. It's all over there.
Europe is going to be an uphill climb. Like,
Yes.
props to PlayStation for putting in so much work, and Jim Ryan for putting in so much work in that region. Like, seriously, that's what helped Jim Ryan raise prominence in the company. The work that they did in Europe, like, props. But at the end of the day, like, people are gonna start to figure out that the same games that I'm buying my PlayStation to play, I can play those on Xbox.
Yep.
You know, this is what I don't understand when it comes to like people that like to get on these podcasts, talk about gaming, games, and the industry, right? They should understand, like, this is not me as a bot talking. Like, I'll say the same thing. Look, Xbox had only 5-6 studios, right? But the majority of the people that were playing on Xbox outside of the generation where they actually were the lead platform were there for Xbox games.
Yep.
Any game that PlayStation had, they pretty much killed it, right? Back in the day, I mean, Ratchet is still here, right? There's no more Uncharted, right? Then they got a deal for Spider-Man. Now everybody's there. Now a lot of people are there for Spider-Man. But other than Spider-Man, is Spider-Man enough for me to say, you know, in the future, going forward,
Right.
people start to understand that a lot of these games that were third party are not going to be third party anymore. And I know that regulator, you know, are you going to bring Diablo to PlayStation, Diablo 6, Diablo 5? Like, guys like him, they're going to have to learn.
Yeah.
Well, then
The
again,
hard way.
Diablo might be multiplayer. You know, that's a game that might be multiplayer.
That's another one, right? That will remain. Yeah.
Because
Like
it
future
was
DLC
built.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like Diablo, the franchise, because that game
Oh, the franchise
was
as a whole?
built.
Okay, maybe.
Because the game was built everywhere. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But let's just say any new IP that comes out, I wouldn't bank on that coming to PlayStation, even if it's multiplayer. Because at the end of the day, MLB had to make PlayStation put the show on Xbox.
Mhm.
It's not something that they wanted to do. You know,
Yeah.
they were content. They were content to sit over there with a million sales every year, holding out hope
Just
that
to
people
say-
would eventually
just to say,
come
this
to
is the
play
only
it.
place you can play it.
Yeah, 'cause
Well,
it
no,
was the
holding
only
hope that
baseball game.
eventually people would come to PlayStation to play MLB The Show. Now, it
Yeah.
worked, but it's the least popular sport. And there's a reason why PlayStation got an exclusive in the first place. EA said the game wasn't selling. 2K said the game wasn't selling. They both stopped selling the game, and PlayStation was the only one left.
Yep.
PlayStation and MLB making RBI games. Those are the only two baseball games. If you look at them now, like they were talking about getting rid of hockey. That's why
Yeah,
EA is the
I
only
remember
one
that.
with hockey. You know, and they're still making these hockey games, and then every
Hey,
year people complain about them just being
EA
roster updates.
EA stopped making live also, right?
Well,
Is
2K
that-
kicked them out.
Huh?
2K kicked them out.
Yeah, 2K is better. I think.
Yeah, and they came back. It came back with Elite, and then it died again because I don't know what it is. Like, for them to have all this money, they're the number 2 largest publisher.
Yeah.
Well, now the number 1 largest third-party publisher, and they can't figure out how to do a simulation basketball game. They have all these resources available to them, and they cannot make a simulation basketball game. That's the problem. It's like when you play 2K, it's simulation. When you play EA basketball games, they're more arcade. They're like NBA Jam almost. Like, they just can't get the realism down.
Yeah.
I really wish, and I'm kind of like turned off from sports games now because they've all turned into microtransaction fests.
Right.
Yeah, it has.
You know, because I used to be like, 2K football needs to come back. Now I don't care if they come back or not because they're gonna do exactly what they're doing with NBA 2K.
Unless they
Like you,
unless they come out and advertise that they're not gonna do that. Yeah, they pretty
they're
much
not
will.
gonna not do it because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
so, too
And
much money there.
exactly.
They got
People
those
have proven that
ultimate.
they'll pay $70 for ultimate for a roster update
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
every year and
Yep.
complain about it.
I used to buy
Yep.
just maybe once every 5 years because like it wasn't worth it to me to buy a sports.
How about when they go on sale?
Yeah. And then
You know what I mean?
And then I stopped buying 2K because EA had live on EA Play, and I was like, I'll just wait for live. It's like even though it's the shittiest one, but hey, I don't have to pay anything extra for it.
It's not horrible. Like I'm gonna tell you, EA went Sony. They started paying too much attention to like things that had nothing to do with gameplay. Look at the sweat. Look at the progressive sweat on the jersey. You know, the jersey gets sweatier by every quarter.
Yeah.
Look at the droplets on his face. Like,
Look at the
no,
way it
no lie,
flops around. The animation is so crazy, but it's still not realistic but it flops around crazy. So that's cool. You know,
dude. If you can be in a box, right? Be in the paint and bump the guy. You know, he blocks you. He blocks you. I don't know how much basketball games you play, but you know, getting your defensive stance so the guy can't go around you. Next thing you know, he took off. He's dunking on the team. That's not real. You know, sometimes in 2K, these guys they got that shot meter down pat, and there's no stopping them. But it is what it is. But I'm tired of these guys, just like you guys, talking about Xbox like they need someone else. And to Punty, I'll tell you because he didn't listen. PlayStation, I'm sorry, Xbox and PC are enough. They don't need PlayStation or Nintendo Switch.
Punty says us Canadians play hockey. Hey, I love hockey, man.
yeah.
Hockey.
You guys love hockey.
Hockey in person, watching it in person is amazing. It's fun.
Well,
I've
y'all got
never
the
watched
stars.
Yeah, we got the stars up here, so it's a fun. I haven't been to a Stars game in a while. I need to go.
Man,
I'm an
I've
Avalanche fan.
played 3 hockey games. I played NES hockey, right? I played the
Blades of
legendary
Glory-
NHL
Blades of-
94.
I know you
I
play
didn't
Blaze
play
of
that.
Steel, bro.
Blades of Steel.
You gotta
No, I
play
didn't.
Blaze of
No, I
Steel.
didn't. I played double bibble. I played
We're
double
no
bibble.
longer cool,
Blades
bro.
of Steel, yes.
Like I did that, but I also played the legendary NHL 94, and then I had NHL 95 on Sega CD because I think I got it for like $5, and I really liked that one, right? But you know, that was the 3. Like after that, I never messed with hockey again. I never messed with the what was the NBA Jam version of hockey where it's like 3D and with the violence and all that. Or you know, they made a football one, they made a hockey one, they made
some
like all
off-brand.
3D.
Yeah.
Like I think I played that one on Dreamcast like once or twice back in the day. But other than that, yeah, like hockey games I never really played that much, but they're always cool when I played them. But like for Canadians, I know of course they love hockey and they've always loved those games.
Like
but,
hockey and
but-
maple syrup.
Yeah, but hockey is kind of treated here in America like they do baseball when it comes to video games. Like it's not like some.
Hello. Man. Hope we're good. Hello. Oh, man.
On he was on the community
there you are.
series.
Now, are we still streaming? No, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think you're still streaming. 1 second, yeah, you're still streaming. We're back. This is how I knew you came back.
All right. Oh, man.
Yes, you are.
All right, we're good. All right. I don't know what happened there. I just started losing everything. I'm losing my StreamYard chat. I'm using Discord, and then you guys, and then OBS says, "Hey, disconnected." I'm like, "What? Why?" And then it says connected again. Then I start hitting you guys like, "Yes." I was like, "Oh man, don't tell me I have to the session's over, and I hate when it's happened.
Technical difficulties. We're back online though. I heard it.
Good.
Oh, Punty, you hear us, bro? We're back.
There's always that 10-second delay before.
Right. So.
And what the hell were we talking about? Oh, sports games.
Yeah, we're talking about sports games. I was just finishing what I said about NHL, and that was the point when they dropped. As far it seems with Punty, because that was the last thing he said.
Yeah, he likes.
He says he can hear us now. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes the hockey. No, dude, I've loved hockey since. I'll tell you, I was in the hospital, and one of the movies I saw during that year was The Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
And ever since then, I got into hockey. I may not know the rules. I try to play. I'm just not hockey.
That's how I ended up with NHL '94 because of the Mighty Ducks movies. Like the second one, my mom took me to see the second one. I hadn't seen the first one, but she took us to see the second.
Successful? No, it's saying it's on back on again.
Yeah, the line on my YouTube is white.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Hold on, let me see what's going on with YouTube from my side. If the video stream is still going. Yeah, no, you're still streaming on YouTube though.
Yeah. I'm at the.
Yeah, no, you didn't drop off YouTube.
I'm at to start putting a timer on my router here so it could recycle every 3 a.m. or something. I don't know. I'm getting like that.
So posted a post about an hour ago. He said Connie Booth was fired, and her team walked out. There's been multiple layoffs across their studios. PSVR 2 is no longer a priority because we already know the Quest 3 already outsold that, right?
What?
Jim Bryer got fired wearing a white tee and then had to come back. What was it, last week or the week before?
Yeah.
Looking like he's been drinking ever since.
Like a crackhead?
Right? He looked
like he was on meth?
I just put it like that. 6 of the 12, games as a service games were canceled. Yeah. Since 2019, high revenue, low operating income. Factions 2 was canceled. No first party roadmap, and their first party studios is all over the place, right?
Yeah.
They're incapable of diversifying the content. $200 handheld sold to increase engagement on a system that should be leading in engagement anyway. Their PSN price was increased to the highest tier, $40 more a year. But don't worry, PlayStation is more concerned about Starfield than if Blade is exclusive. And he's entirely correct. It just is what it is. If all of this, if even one of these things was happening with Microsoft, if it was Phil Spencer, the Jim Ryan,
do you know how many articles
right?
there would be?
Connie Booth, where with Connie Booth, it would have, let's say, it would have been what's her face, Sarah Bond, right? Or equivalents like that, like Factions 2. Well, that's the one thing we had happen to us, right? But that happened long ago with that dragon game, right? With Scalebound.
Yeah.
Right? But other than this, and the no first party roadmap, we always had a roadmap that just wasn't a roadmap of much. They have literally a zero roadmap. Like, I don't even know anything that they have all this time Rise of the Ronin, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, like, dude, if this was Xbox,
dude, there'll be so many torches from
Satya
all these articles.
Satya would have canned it already. Yeah. Satya would have did it. Forget the press and all this other stuff. It was all this stuff. Satya would be like, nah, hell no. He would have Windows phoned it, okay? Just like that. Which he regrets now, by the way. Which he regrets now.
Windows Phone is awesome.
And I see why. Yes, it was. The integration, everything that would have been happening now, they wouldn't need to be developing a whole new mobile platform like we all know they're doing, right? They already had a handheld and all of that stuff based on these phones, right? Just toss, their phones into a controller. And of course, because they made their own, it would have been first party direct from Microsoft. They would have made an Xbox branded one. We would have had an Xbox phone, but basically that's what all the Windows phones won. We would have had an Xbox specific one. Like, that would have happened already.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So that was a mistake he made, and he's at least, and see, just like Phil, I respect him for owning up to it, that he realized he should have, fought through it like he did with Xbox, but Xbox had people there with Phil Spencer and whatnot who was willing to tough it out. Windows Phone did not. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Still miss Windows Phone.
Yeah, I really, really do, man. I
It-
love
uh,
that little platform.
They said it's coming back.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, now he's bringing it back, and that's what I'm saying. He regrets that because now he has to start all over again when he could have just been pushing and pushing and pushing like they did with Xbox when Xbox was at a similar low point. Because the same things that happened to Xbox where Sony was paying for exclusivity and all that stuff was the same thing that was happening in Windows Phone with Google not putting their apps in them and blocking anybody who wanted to make a third party alternative and all those things that were going on. Ridiculous stuff. But it's really comparable, I feel.
Yeah. I miss
The sad
Windows
thing
Phone.
about Windows Phone is they had the lead. They were they were the first movers or among the first movers when it came to mobile phones,
Well,
right? Mobile smartphones.
Zune came out first, and that kind of
So
gave
Zoom came out before
yeah.
mobile PC.
Yeah. No, before
No.
the Windows Phone.
When
Yeah,
it
but
came out
mobile
before
P-
the
no,
Windows
but mobile
Phone that
mobile
we knew of.
P-
No, mobile was
but
already out
mobile
a long time already. Before.
no, listen, like they had mobile PC, right, which was Windows operating system on
Windows CE.
mobile phones, right?
Yeah.
No, mobile PC.
Mhm.
It was you had the Motorola Q, you had
the
the
Palm Pilot and all that shit.
HTC, the HTC Touch Pro. You had all those phones that were running they were running Windows,
CE. Yeah, Windows
right?
CE.
Because back then you had no, it was Windows Mobile, bro.
And
Anyway,
they beat Palm, right?
well, no, Palm was
Palm was
there,
originally-
but Palm wasn't as smart. BlackBerry
Right.
had the lead. BlackBerry was still the number one selling phone, but when it came to smartphones and phones running actual apps, Microsoft was first because you had actual Windows apps running on your mobile phone.
Yep.
Mhm.
But they allowed Apple to come in and just take them.
Yeah.
And that's where they fell off as far as I'm concerned. They were first movers there when it came to making actual smartphones.
The Zune was amazing too. I should have kept my Zune. I don't know why I got rid of it. It was
But they were too late again. They were too late again because Apple had already taken over because you remember Napster, Cosm, and then Apple said, you know what, we'll sell them since they want to download individual tones instead of trying to fight against it. Let's sell them for 99 cents a piece.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that changed the game.
Yep.
Until Pandora.
Mm-hmm. And the Zune HD in particular, because I remember they had the
I had
Zune
both models.
PC app, the Zune PC app. I love that app. That podcasting function.
Yeah.
Everything about it. Like that was my music app on PC du jour. Like the app I used to manage all my music, make sure all the art was there and organized. And if I want to copy it to a phone or whatever, take with me. And there's supposed to be ways to get it to work on Windows 11, and I can't get it to do it so, right? But the thing about it was, when I first built this PC last year, I took my operating system drive and I put it on, and it worked, but it wouldn't upgrade to Windows 11, and I didn't want to fight, so I wiped it and started over. But I already did whatever trick it was required to get the app to run then, so I just wanted to transfer it over and have all my stuff there without having reinstall Windows and put everything back.
Man, I
couldn't
even
figure
had
it out. But
I had the docking station to hook it up to the TV and everything.
But there's a great similar app that's out there. It's called Dopamine. It's free, open source, I believe. It's called Dopamine. It works very close to the Zune HD like PC app that they have.
Yeah. It was awesome. All right,
It's a shame. It's a shame.
So I'm gonna put this on the screen for everybody else to see. What are you excited about this controller, man? Tell me about it.
Okay, well, so like I said last year,
anyways,
my PC.
before we do this, we just want to tell you at the end of all this discussion when we talk about Sony, they're fucked. There you go.
Yep. Put simple. So last year when I was putting my PC together, I realized, I buy a lot of Corsair stuff, power supply, case, RAM. I really freaking like Corsair's products. It's not like I decided, I'm only buying Corsair. It just ended up like that, right?
Yeah.
I got my CPU cooler with the little LCD screen, my power supply. I already had a power supply before. I bought a newer one in anticipation of buying the 4090. Not going to wait for the 4080 Super, but for now I have a 4060 to hold me down. But so basically when it comes to PC stuff, personally,
Well, you got the keyboard recently, right?
I got the keyboard recently. I've long since been messing with the controllers. Like the M30 controller is a type of controller, which is just like that, but it's all black, right? And they have a variant that's Bluetooth, and they have a variant that's
that's good for fighting games.
2.4, right. And so, and they have a variant that's 2.4G, right? On that's Bluetooth, and then they had one. You remember the Genesis Mini, those mini consoles that were coming out years ago?
Yeah.
And you remember Sega made one, so they made a model where they had the little USB adapter you could plug into the front there, where that controller worked with the Genesis Mini. So I have a lot of these 8-bit Do controllers. I have the Bluetooth one that works with the PC, and I have the one that could work with the Sega Mini. Now they have one for Xbox. Unfortunately, it doesn't support the wireless. And another product that I have is their arcade stick from a couple months back, black one. That's also Xbox compatible, right? It comes with the dongle, just like the keyboard does.
Yeah.
Plug into the Xbox. It too doesn't support the Xbox wireless format, but it doesn't have the headphone jack and all the Xbox buttons, plus everything that the arcade stick you would want on an arcade stick, like I explained months ago. So 8-bit Do has been knocking it out the park.
Man, this would be perfect for Killer Instinct.
Perfect, for fighting games, all that stuff. Plus, it has the headphone jack with all the Xbox buttons. To start and select the Xbox button. It's got the share button. It's got everything you need, except for the fact that it's not wireless. That's the one thing I would pay, the $5 or even $10 more for this to be wireless and support the Xbox wireless format instead of just being USB.
But there's no thumbsticks.
But I'll take it.
So that's what.
And there's no thumbstick, but it has the switch in the back if you want to use it. You want to flip the D-pad to replicate a thumbstick. But usually, when you buy pads like this, it's made for certain type of games where you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Like Street Fighter, you never have to touch the analog in Street Fighter. You can just use the D-pad. Like certain types of games, I use the D-pad where it fits. Like if I'm playing like a 2D game, like that Turtles game, right? I never touch the analog stick. I know a lot of people do because that's just what they used to. But I'm the type to use the D-pad, and so this pad works great with stuff like that, where it gets in where it fits in, and 8-bit Do has been knocking out the park. They got the arcade stick, they got lots of pads, they got these keyboards. The one thing I could say is that mouse of theirs is quite crappy and it even looks silly, but I guess it's more for looks than anything else. But 8-bit Do knocking out of the park with yet another product, and I don't see a PlayStation version, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what's up with that. Actually, that's kind of odd. They don't really mess with PlayStation, but all these products also work on PC, right?
Yeah,
so
USB.
Even if you're just a PC gamer, if you you got Street Fighter there, and you're doing emulation.
Hey, Killer Instinct.
I'm big into the emulation.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah, and Killer Instinct just got their update. Their 4K update. For the series platforms. On the PC side, of course, you have emulation, all that. But even if you're into these emulation devices like the Mister, and if you're into that stuff, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like the 8-bit Do black controller. If you look up Mister, MISTER, right? You'll see a lot of people that's the thing they use, or a lot of people who own arcade boards and they have devices that let them play their arcade boards on TV instead of using an arcade stick. They'll use the 8-bit Do controller, that that black M30, very popular controller, and that has come to Xbox with the Xbox seal of approval with all the Xbox specific buttons are there too.
It doesn't even break the bank. It's $34.
$34, bro. And it's coming out December 22nd. Pre-order now. I'm definitely getting one of those, bro.
I know. I
loving the look.
Yeah, no.
I got a fight stick. I don't want to.
You got a fight stick?
I don't want to flip it. Yeah.
I've never been like one to buy a fight stick, even though I love playing Killer Instinct, maybe Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I'll probably buy something like this for those games.
I always grew up on pads and playing, fighting, because I never really went to the arcades because I was a kid. I didn't have money, and my parents weren't really trying to have me out there. And by the time I was old enough to, the arcades were kind of dead by that point, and even on the good arcade games that were worth playing, like Tekken and stuff, they were coming to console because that was the same hardware anyway. So I never really messed with arcade stick. This is why I bought the 8-bit Do arcade stick. Planning to get into that, but I've been so busy. It's overtime season. I'm definitely stacking that money, and now this controller is out. But 8-bit Do, man, they keep releasing products that, particularly if you're on Xbox or PC, man, Chef's kiss, man. The products are always great, except that mouse.
Mwah.
Pretty crappy.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time at the arcades. So many quarters, so much money gone playing. Hey, I had some good memories, man. We'll go. There was a movie theater right next door, and you got the arcade right next to each other. Just a wall separating the two, and you know, you spend money at the movie theater, and then whatever's left over, you go to the arcade. It was.
Oh, speaking of,
it was awesome.
Oh, speaking of all the stuff they do for Xbox, I'm gonna send another link. Here's another 8-bit dope product. I'm gonna ask you to scroll down when you get there. They're remotes for Xbox. I have the little white one because if you had bought a 360 within like the launch period, you know, if you bought the model with the hard drive, it came with this little white remote, right? And so they have a remote that's like that, the little short one that was a packing that they never sold separately.
This thing right here?
Yeah, the little white one. I'm not looking on the YouTube page, but you'll see two remotes. They have a black one and a white one, right? And the little white one is very useful if you're just watching Netflix and stuff and you want to use a controller. This works very good. I believe it's not RF. I think it uses the Xbox's 2.4 gigahertz thing. I think it does. I believe so. I forget if it. Yeah, it definitely does because it doesn't have an RF like window in the front, you know, for the IR. Yeah. It doesn't have that. It's RF. So and they, you know, it has an Xbox button and all that other stuff as well. So
man, they make some tiny controllers.
Yeah, they make great controllers for all types of stuff. 8-bit dough really has been knocking out of the park for a long time.
Yeah.
What's the other one sick? Yeah, 8-bit dough.
Mad Cats.
Oh, there's not Mad Cats.
Poor Mad Cats.
There's Retrobit. There's another brand or two that I'm forgetting, but Retrobit is the one that I'm really remembering now.
So no Mad Cats? No?
Mad Cats is dead.
No.
I think they're dead.
Mad Cats.
Yeah, they're gone.
Mad Cats got bought by someone else.
That's what happened.
And rebranded them?
I guess.
Well, they just absorbed them.
They absorbed them, right?
That's too Mad Cats. I remember that. I think I got a Mad Cat.
Bro, but they make good stuff though.
Oh yeah, during Street Fighter 4, the era of Street Fighter 4, like they had, you know, the fighting stick that everybody was buying, the pros and everybody who wanted to be a pro. They bought the Mad Cat stick. Like it's legendary amongst the fighting game community, even now, like to have one, right? And you know, to mod up to play with the modern systems of today, like they're still beloved.
Mad Cat.
Mad Cat.
Mad Cat.
Man. That's when I hear Mad Cats, it reminds me two things: controllers, the peripherals, and Mech Assault. You got the Mad Cat.
Mech Assault.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hated that thing because I would get beat every time by the Mad Cat. Hated that.
I remember that.
That mech, man. I think I was the Puma or the Cougar. I think it was like a tiny one.
Oh,
but look, I know that like everybody's like big on nostalgia. Bring back this, bring back that, right? But do you guys really think that Mech Assault would really have an audience like it did back in the day?
No, but I mean, I would love to have it though.
I would too. I think it could. Listen, if Armored Core 6, right, could win Action Game of the Year, right? Because they put their foot into it. And of course, because you know it's from software and all that, they were given the attention because they just came off of Elden Ring. Like, we're not gonna downplay that influence of it had people's attention because it was from the same guys. But it still had to show and prove when it had everybody's attention, and it did well enough to win the GOTY this year for Action Game of the Year. So if that could do it, a good Mech Assault game out of Microsoft, and the Xbox community, will support Microsoft if they make a good title. And that was one of the early Xbox Live.
Yes, it was.
Games on the original Xbox.
God.
On the original Xbox. So I think that really could be good.
And Mech
They bring that
Assault
back.
were my two ones that I spent all night playing online.
Shut up and take my money.
And
that's all I'm going to say.
The Xbox Live Chat was the best back then.
Yep.
Was the best. It was because it was all open. right?
Yep.
And then you had the option to mask your voice with the robot, the little kid, and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
those were the best times, man. That first gen Xbox Live, man, was the best.
Before they have party chat in the middle of that second chat.
No, it was
'Cause
just
I wasn't
all
there at the
open.
beginning. It was
He
in the
talked
second. Yeah, it was all
so
open.
much trash. Oh,
Yep. Beautiful.
Bro, Microsoft was in the little kid cursed me out.
Huh?
Like he was
All the
stealing
time.
everybody's kills because like
that's
because
what
I used to like I used to like Ragnarok. So like
yeah. Oh, the big, yeah.
yeah. So like you do the heavy lifting and then the little I think it was called man was a little what was the little one called?
Timberwolf, like a Timberwolf or
Nah,
something.
it was called something weird like Lemire or something like that. Anyway, it was weird. Okay. So this dude, man, he's just running around, just like if you see the mech limping, you could just finish him off and keep. Man, he was moving faster than everybody, stealing all the kills,
Oh.
and everybody was hot with him. He was like,
Oh, I remember
like,
they were limping when they were hurt. Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
how
and
we
all you
need
had
to put the focus on those.
yeah. yeah,
See,
he just running around.
Mine was either the Cougar or the Puma. I think I used the Puma.
Dale just saved big on a Bluetooth speaker at
I'm
Amazon.
about to look up the robots in Mech Assault.
Yeah. Then you got the heavy mechs, which was a Timberwolf. There was a Thor. There was a Thor one. The Catapult.
Yes.
So
to answer the original question, yes, MechAssault could be very well received. And on the PC side, if they did a tactical game, I think they did one very recently. But if they had like an offshoot that connects to the console action game, right? That was a tactical game as well,
yeah.
right? And if they did that intelligently, because the MechAssault tactical game that they came out, I think it was a year or two ago, that did pretty good for its niche, right? Like it's not really even remembered that it even existed now, but for its niche, it was pretty well done. If you can cross over, an action game for the consoles and PC, and then you later on do a tactical one that like links into it or is within that same universe. Oh yeah.
What cracked me up the most on MechAssault was that there was that one mech that you can pilot, and then your guy can leave if your mech's about to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And it was just you, and you get squished.
Bro.
That was the second
Bro,
one.
looking at these mechs makes me want to play it. So Emir was an assault mech.
Mm-hmm.
YMIR, Emir. And then you have Prometheus and Ragnarok. Those were the two that I played with, bro. Prometheus and Ragnarok.
The big boys.
And then yeah.
They're giant.
And then I see Mad Cat. Nova Cat.
I hated Mad Cat.
Bro.
Because that little sparkle would just follow you and like do so much damage on you.
Bro, and when I say we'll find the audience, because we know Microsoft has Game Pass, and their willingness to sit in the pocket with a game is they're willing to do it a whole lot more than like a Sony. So if it has like 20,000 players, will they still hang in there? Because they're gonna they would make it a live service game. Like it's like multiplayer games can't just be multiplayer games anymore. They have to add some type of live service aspect to the game. Because back in the day, I mean, like when online started, like that was just online gaming. We had 2K.
Yeah.
We had Halo.
You buy the game and then that's it.
Maybe you might get maps later on. That was it.
But like there was no they didn't see it as a problem that you would spend. It would be like an achievement to have people play your game for longer than a year. Now it's like that's not that big a deal. We need to be bleeding you for those 2 years. Because if you look at like the way Call of Duty has always been, and then they had to come up with Warzone. But the way Call of Duty does it is to me that's good synergy. I don't like it, but it's good synergy. As a business person, if that was my business, that would be great. Because like you have all kinds of perks. Like if you play Warzone, you get more perks if you play Call of Duty. Because my son we played Warzone back when it did the update. That was my first time ever playing Warzone. And I saw why people play Call of Duty. Because for a while I got tired of Call of Duty. My last Call of Duty until I played Warzone was Black Ops 2.
Mine was
And
Black
so when
Ops 1 and a little bit of Modern Warfare 3. Like the first expansion pack that came out, I downloaded it, I played it, and that was it. But every month, because I think I paid for like the premium version where like you got the whole year's worth of DLC, but you have to be there to claim it. But I didn't play after the first one, but I was always there to claim it, which I guess wasn't even worth it because now I'm gonna get it for free on Game Pass finally. But at least it's in my account and I own it, so even if I don't pay for Game Pass, I'll still own it. But yeah, man, that's basically what it was that time when it was dead, and now it's better. Now I guess it's like back a lot more, particularly this one, right? Like that's the one thing I gotta say that was a positive of the fact that this one was more of like a DLC of the previous one, because what they really did was fine tune it. Because you see how it is with Call of Duty. Eventually, everybody starts complaining about it, like, "Oh, he's got all a million one problems," and they fight, and maybe they'll. And some years they get the fix right, some years they don't, but they'll still play it. But they'll sit there and complain like it's the worst thing ever. But they'll never stop playing it, right? But this time, the universal praise is they fixed what was wrong with the new one, and then added more. And yeah, a lot of it is old content, but the gameplay is on point, and it's fun to play. The multiplayer.
See, what I like about Call of Duty is that you can find a quick round or a few rounds fast, back to back to back to back rounds. No problem looking for a lobby or searching for a lobby.
Yep.
I prefer Battlefield. I've always been a Battlefield guy.
Me too.
But to get in the lobby,
like
oh my God, it takes forever sometimes. To get a complete lobby,
Mm-hmm.
But all right, man. Last segment. Let's finish this off. Game Awards. Did you watch it? What are you looking forward to? What excited you? And anything else? Me, of course, is Hellblade, Blade, OD, even though I don't even know what OD is even about.
OD is, right.
I don't even know what OD is about, man. And I still want to know what, I still want to play.
You see people screaming in the camera. That's all we know. And it's big name actors. That's all we know.
There's a few other titles that I saw, whether it's going to be multiplayer or not. It's like Exodus, the casting of Frank Stone. No Rest for the Wicked was pretty cool looking. The Jurassic Park Survival. I'm kind of curious what that's about. If it's like a survival game or is it?
It literally is a survival game.
Okay.
It's literally a survival.
It's probably not what I'm going to get into then. And then.
Well, survival in terms like you got to escape, I guess. Like the whole point is to escape. So survival in that manner. I don't think it's like the genre of survival games. I don't think it's that.
There was the first Descendant, Mecha Break, Exoborn,
Mecha Break is looking interesting. Yeah.
Den of Wolves, Metaphor, and then Warhammer 40,000. They've always been talking about that, and they finally got a date for Marine too. So.
Yeah, man, I respect that because a lot of Gears heads, I think this is gonna be their until the new Gears.
Yeah.
Like if they do this right and the multiplayer is pretty good, this could hold down the Gears crowd until the new Gears is out.
Right.
Potentially if they do it right.
But yeah. So when I saw the trailer for OD, they played the audio like from the show. So you hear people clapping in the trailer. Okay?
Right.
So the trailer starts. It has Kojima's name. Of course, people get excited. They're like, yeah. They go nuts because it's Kojima, right?
As they do.
And then, they show it. They show the faces and whatever they show. And then towards the end with Xbox Studios. And they were silent. Like you barely got any cheers just because. Yeah.
But we already knew that was the case, that he was already teamed up with Xbox.
Yes,
we
knew that.
This
but
ahead of time.
Still,
but they did it anyway.
People still,
But then he got the shocker back when Jordan Peele walked out. Now, Jordan Peele...
I didn't see that part because I didn't watch the show.
Oh, okay. So, you know, Key and Peele. So, Jordan Peele, he
I know.
Get Out and all that stuff. Like, he transitioned from a dude that was mainly known, him and Key, right? you know, and Dave Chappelle really needs to sit down with this haterism. Like, dude left and they were doing their own thing and they blew up because he wasn't around. What you jealous for, by the way, punk? But anyway, while these guys is out there doing their thing, particularly Jordan, he has now become a director and he's showing off, you know, another side of himself, and quite the auteur he's turning out to be.
But you know
right?
what? I like what he does because it's these
Yes.
weird, either horror movie or suspense movies, not your
And they have a point to them.
Medea shit. You know?
Right, and they have a point to them. And so, you know, Kojima, like, he always wanted to be a movie director, but instead he's doing that with games. But the crazy thing was, not only it was Jordan Peele, like he was implying like this is just one of many names. I could only imagine dude who did Pinocchio. What's his name?
What?
Jesus Christ. Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's what I said, Del Toro.
Yeah, Del Toro.
Yeah, I guarantee you he might. Well, I'm not guaranteed, but I highly suspect he's one of these other folks that he's alluding to that's probably working with him. In fact, I could have sworn there was some report, which is why I'm thinking that in the first place. Maybe I don't really remember one way or another, but like, yeah, he said this is just the first of many people you're going to hear about that I'm working with. So we don't have no idea what OD is. All we saw was a couple of actors screaming in the camera, right? But then that wasn't video. That was CG or something. Was it? I don't even know if there was actual video or if it was, you know, they face scanned them and it just looks that real and I can't really tell I don't know. See, that's how crazy it is. I can't tell, and I can't exclude the idea that maybe it's all, you know, computer generated and all that, right? Like, that's crazy. And then there was Hellblade 2 looking ridiculous. That show was just...
Dude, Hellblade
like,
looks... No, that looks ridiculous. I mean, it's
ridiculous. Yeah. But we can wax nostalgic about specific things. Like, you guys can name all those specific things. I'm not going to name anything specific, like the whole blade and all that other things that you named.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, like I've been advocating, I'm not going to... I was not and did not watch it from their official outlet. You know, I alternated between Sean and Dirt and Cognito and Addict, right? Watching live streams off from those guys. But even then, just before, I think the day or two before, Xbox was like, hey, y'all better watch because we got some stuff. And then the Xbox fans were like, and even myself, despite all, you know, I think consistent with what I said, I wasn't going to watch them directly, but I always said I was going to watch because, as I always say about the Game Awards, no matter what, they always do reveals and stuff. So it's kind of a mini E3 at the end of the year. We already know about the awards and all the fuckery there. It's going to be lots of stupid music performances that's real crappy and all these Hollywood types and all types of crap that happen and the disrespect that they were giving the developers and rushing them and all these things we could talk about in detail. But in terms of content to see upcoming games, Xbox ran away with it and Sony was left looking real stupid. And it sounds like, oh, I'm just trying to focus on the console war stuff, but Sony came away looking real bad. Like Starfield was 0-1, but Spider-Man was 0-7. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I'd rather be 0-1 than 0-7 on a game that shouldn't have been nominated from any of those things.
Guy?
They came so close after thing, bro.
Is this guy right here? Is this the guy from Blade? One of the elders?
I can't see the live stream because you didn't.
Oh, you can't see it.
So I'm clicking back on YouTube. So
I'm trying to think. This is
okay. Maybe this actor, I know him. No. That wasn't Chris Christopherson. This is not Chris Christopherson.
That is him. That's why in the video I left a comment. It won't matter who's pure blood or not.
Yeah,
he's the one who had his. He's the one who got his fangs yanked when he was on the beach.
That's him, right?
Yes, in Blade 1. Yeah, I see what you mean. Blade 1. I thought you meant Chris Christopherson. Yeah, in Blade 1. Yes, that's him. Yes.
No, that's Whistler. That's Whistler.
Yeah. Whistler is Chris Christopherson. Right.
See, look, bro. Y'all got me hyped up. I'm just waiting for my turn.
Yep. Well, please continue. I have nothing specific to say about the specific game. Just that the show was worth my time. I didn't regret it, and it went by pretty quick.
He still has a vampire look.
Yes, and ever since he's
that's
played
because
that
you
role,
typecast him in your head.
I did.
Right, exactly. But and indeed, like a lot of stuff I complained about, and I talked about on C Money Show and stuff. Like there was a lot of disrespect and a lot of fuckery, as always with the Game Awards. But in terms of content to see, in terms of new games upcoming and reveals and all that, it did a pretty good job in that regard. I must admit.
Now, cause like I don't know if y'all remember, I was on Legal's show, right? And I said a lot of people they slept on Dishonor, right? They slept on Deathloop, and Microsoft is always talking about IP. The problem is IP. Like if people know something, they'll automatically give it a try because they like that thing. I said if Dishonor, what's the name? If Arcane created that, created Deathloop, and it was under a name that you knew instead of Deathloop, it would have blown up. So now you got
example.
Because
I'm not exactly following what you mean. Example.
Okay, just look at the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at Arcane's pedigree. Look at the games they make. They fit perfectly with a Blade type of game. So imagine.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
So imagine all the things that they've always done, right? The way that you can move, the way you can move around, traversal, whatever. The combat. The only thing that's going to be different is they have a new skin on the character. That's the only thing that's going to change. They're going to do the same thing they've always done. You're just going to have Blade now. And since people have something that they already have connected it to, it's going to be a hit. And then all of a sudden we're going to start looking at Arcane in a different light. Not us, because we're gamers. Like we play games, any game, but the mainstream. Right? And they've always been making good games this whole time.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's key what you're saying. Yeah. That's key.
Yeah, they've been making good games the whole time.
Or like regular folks. Yeah.
Look at Blade. Blade is Corvo. That's all Blade is. Blade is able to move around, except he won't blink. Maybe he will blink. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Corvo has his knife when he sneaks up behind and stabs, and he has his gun. Look at Blade. He's at the barbershop. He has his blade, of course, and then his guns. It's the same thing. But now all of a sudden, people are going to start looking at them in a different light. Look at Insomniac. They've been making good games. Sunset Overdrive is outstanding.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
But then you give them Spider-Man, and all of a sudden, people start talking about how great they are just because they have a popular game. They've been making good games.
Right.
But you already know vampires, zombies, werewolves. I'm in, and I'm glad that we're gonna get a game, a Blade game.
I just hope that this is not one of these titles that they announced, like Blade, that's gonna come out 5 years from now.
That's what it's gonna do. They've already said that it's early development.
Yeah,
they said they're gonna stop announcing games like that.
No, they had to justify it. Right? The justification was it's Blade's anniversary.
Yes.
So that's why we're announcing it.
And in hindsight, later on, but they didn't say this at the show. I think that word came out yesterday, or was it the day before, that it's already been in development for 2 years. I don't know what they mean, like, or if they've just been in the planning stage, or if they put in code. But we did see some art come out yesterday for sure. So they have something to show there. It's not like they just started, they just got the contract and they're just starting right now, and they put some CG together, and they've only been working on it for 6 months. They've been working on it for 4 times that, but it's still a time away.
But look at Xbox, right? Xbox has so much IP that it doesn't hurt them the way, like, we made fun of Sony because they did that all last generation. For 3 years in a row, they showed the same E3. They had the same E3 show. They showed you Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, and Death Stranding came out relatively soon, and then Horizon. They kept showing those same games. They had the same E3 showcase. They just changed different orchestras for 3 years in a row. And then they said, "Oh, we don't need E3 anymore," because they had nothing to show.
Right.
When it comes to Xbox, they can show you Hellblade and you'll forget about it for a little while. They can show you Perfect Dark and you'll forget about it for a little while. Right? Blade is not going to come out for at least another 4 years. Right. You're going to forget about Blade, which is why I calm myself down, because I know the game's not close. Man. Well, you're going to have to, because you're not going to get it. Right? But then you look at a game like South of Midnight. It's already been rumored to come out 2024. right?
You still got
We forgot
Clockwork
all of
or whatever.
we
That's
forgot
called.
all about that's coming out because you can wish list it. You can wish list that in Hellblade, so that's coming out. You're gonna forget about a lot of these games that they show early because they're gonna give you so many games in between. We're not talking about Project Dragon. Wu-Tang is coming back up. People starting to talk about the Wu-Tang game again. Uh, what else? That's so there are games
Is
that
it
they've
called 36 Chambers?
no special technique of shadow boxing.
All right, 36 Chambers.
Bro, I thought you look. Don't be bringing up Wu Tang if you don't know Wu Tang, bro.
Hey.
I know you knew the album name, but you don't know any of the songs. Right?
Hey,
Come on.
I know the song. I just don't know the title. I'm terrible with titles. I'm terrible. With
Yeah,
titles.
but like they got so many games, right? They have remember Project Mara. They've been talking about they you haven't heard
Project
anything
Mara,
else about
I
it.
still got that on my wish list, and I haven't seen anything on that.
You haven't heard anything else about Perfect Dark since they talked about Perfect Dark ever. Wow.
Well, because
You
people's
forget
giving up already, man.
Well, no, people aren't giving up.
They've forgotten.
Like,
They've forgotten.
they're just not talking about it because there's so many other things to talk about that will come. We're not talking
Exactly.
about Project Dragon. We're not talking about Contraband. They announced Contraband, bro. They showed us splash screens for these games, but we're not talking about them because we're getting a lot of games in between to help us forget about these things. It's not like what PlayStation was doing last year when they were just buy up, time exclusivity and things like that. Xbox is going to have so many games coming that they might show some games a little early to help increase some of the excitement around the games. But the thing about the Game Awards is what I've been asking for. I forgot, it was one of you guys that told me, I don't know, man, but Alter Beast is coming back. Shinobi is coming back. The only thing that I'm a little disappointed is that Shinobi's a 2D. I was hoping that we could get the next evolution of a Shinobi game, but maybe they're kind of checking the temperature to see if it's worth doing, which I can understand. This is why a lot of
like the Ninja Gaiden treatment.
Yeah, but see, I don't know if you saw any of the videos, but like Shinobi, it's a 2D side scroller.
Yeah,
and like
so was
but the
Ninja Gaiden.
Well, but Ninja Gaiden had already had like the one on Xbox. Then they had like the Sigma and all these other games.
Yeah.
And 2 and 3.
Right. So like with Shinobi, we haven't had a Shinobi in 15, 20 years.
Yeah, since PS2 we had Shinobi and then the female rendition version.
So like
that came out after.
So like you put that out there and just see how much nostalgia impacts that. And then maybe you get, because Golden Axe was 3D. That looked good. Was that Golden Axe? It was Golden Axe, right?
That was Golden Axe. It was an alternate.
Because see, I'm thinking about Gauntlet, because there was Golden Axe and there was Gauntlet. Those were kind of similar.
I'm thinking about one game where you threw your shield and it boomerang back to you. You remember that one?
That was Rygar.
Rygar, okay.
That's Capcom, right?
No, that's not Konami. Or is it?
The same people who made Data East? Was that the same company who made
I think
Karnov?
Yeah, that's Data East. Yeah, that's Data East. I'm pretty
sure. I still play Karnov. I'm gonna look up
no, it's Tecmo. It's Tecmo.
That's what I did think that.
Okay, but earlier on when you were saying Alter Beast, you meant this Golden Axe, right? Because I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm like,
well, did you see the video? Because I'm gonna have to watch it again. I'm pretty sure that was Golden Axe at 3D. It was 3D.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we can get.
And they're on the beast and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I was hoping that we can get like an evolution, right? But I guess since it's been so long, they're gonna put that out there. And then Alter Beast. Somebody's like, no, they don't need to bring Alter Beast back. Alter Beast was trash. Okay, in hindsight, you say it was trash, but when it came out and it was included with your Sega Genesis, you were saying, "Rise from your grave." You were excited. You can't tell me you weren't. Like it was super duper basic in hindsight.
I'll tell you a personal story about that game, right? So maybe 6 to 8 months before my father passed away, right? I dug out my old Genesis and I was playing Altered Beast in front of him, and rise from your grave, and he hears it and he's like, what's that about? Right now, he doesn't really speak a lot. He did not speak a lot of English, right? But he's like, what's that mean? And so I explained to him the whole plot, right? It's a Roman centurion he was awakened from his grave to go rescue, Athena from, blah blah blah, for Zeus, and Zeus woke him up and blah blah blah, right? Rise from your grave and save my daughter, right? So the last time I spoke to him, he told me always be a perfect gentleman, otherwise I will rise from my grave and come get you. And that was a reference from when I was playing Altered Beast with him, right? And so I always remember that. But no, what you're saying about that game is so true. Because I remember the first time I played it, I'd seen the arcade game, right? At the pizza shop or whatever. And if you compare the two, yeah, the Genesis game was way lesser. But back then, from the point of view of a kid, and I'd only seen it like once or twice in the arcades, to then see the Genesis version, right? And if you let the demo play there, it has this like whole intro sequence where it's showing the character's face and his eye, and it's real detailed. And coming from the NES, and the sound and the voices, and that was a pack-in, dude. Like you have to put respect on what that was and what that did at an early point for gaming, right? And it was there until Sonic became the pack-in. That was the pack-in on the Genesis. That's how long it went.
Yeah, but like a lot of people, they don't speak of it highly. But my memories of that game were great because like that was 16-bit, right? Like back then we used to count bits.
Yeah.
It was all about the bits back then. Because you had TurboGrafx 16, but
the bit baby.
The Bit Wars.
Like
was all about that.
I think TurboGrafx 16. I think that was the first one. Then you had Genesis and Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo, I think, came out last, but it was the best. So
it was more powerful because it came out less. Well, it had more capabilities because it came out later. But yeah, like the TurboGrafx was first in Japan, but here in America we got the Genesis first. Then we got the TurboGrafx right after, and then Super Nintendo. But yeah, man, it was a big deal back then. But yo, the Shinobi in particular is what particularly has me hype of all of those games. And don't forget, there was also. Let me finish what I was saying about Shinobi, right? Because Shinobi 3 was always my favorite of those early games, right? A lot of people remember Revenge of Shinobi and they're all nostalgic about it. But if you actually play those games, you'll see that Shinobi 3 was definitely the better game. It had the wall jumping, the blocking, you could run, you could use the sword. You didn't have to use up all your shuriken. There was more tactical options, and there was a level where you're riding a horse, right? And if you notice from the footage, all those elements that came from Shinobi 3 with the wall jumping and the jump kick and running, slashing, blocking, and then you're riding what it didn't look like a horse this time. Now it looked like a giant, like what's that kind of dog? Like a giant Malamute or like a wolf dog or something that he's actually riding. So it kind of reminds me of that other Shinobi game, not Revenge of Shinobi. Jesus Christ. What was that other Shinobi game in the Genesis where he had a dog, where the dude had a dog, right? And so I think they're crossing over the whole dog concept with the horse concept, where it's a really big dog or a wolf or something, I guess, because it seems like he's riding it, right? And it's 2D, so it's supposed to be retro, but hopefully it does well enough where they do a 3D one, like you were saying earlier, like they did with Ninja Gaiden. But they're starting all over, So there were a couple of other games there, like Jet Set Radio was actually the first thing they showed. People have been asking this for a long time, so thumbs up that they have that. And then the other fighting
What's the name of that game? Sick Bomb Squad or something? Man,
I don't know.
Something
but
bomb.
Another old game I would like to see come back is Kung Fu Chaos. That was
Kung Fu
fun.
Chaos.
A lot of people talk about that.
But the Streets of Rage, and it turned out to be Streets of Rage. I thought that was actually another Sega game. It actually had come out to the Xbox. It was on Naomi or Model 3. I forget the name, but I thought it was that instead of it turned out to be Streets of Rage. So I'm like, wow, a 3D Streets of Rage. I don't know if they could do that well, but hopefully, a proper beat 'em up that's more modern. And I love how Sega marketed. Like they didn't use the actual sample; they used more of like a cover sample. What was the sample? Well, it wasn't actually a sample, but what did they say? It was like, now don't call it a comeback. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is, and in your brain will complete the line for you. My name is Sega. Like it did for me, right?
Yeah.
Like they played that, sample. Like let me reintroduce myself. My name is, and my brain completed it. Sega. I'm like, oh.
Like,
And then I see
oh,
Jet Set Radio. I'm like, yes. And I
threw
see
you back in your
Shinobi.
chair.
And then I see a Batum. Yo, I was hyped. I was really
Did
hyped.
you throw a pump in the air?
I was like, yes. Oh, I had 2%. Like, yes. I was really hyped for what I saw from Sega, man. Because I like a good gameplay. The thing doesn't have to be all modern. You know, I'm definitely into like retro style stuff, even if it's like a newer game. And I definitely want to see, you know, something that, when you see Golden Axe, it seems to me a lot like the cancel one that they were working on. I think in the 360 era, or maybe the PS2 era. I forget. They were working on one that they canceled because it wasn't looking too good. This is looking reminiscent of it, but with better graphics, but still kind of jank looking. So that was the one game that in the Streets of Rage that kind of looked like, I don't know, like I don't know how early these are or whatever, but it did remind me of the early one that they canceled. So maybe they reinvigorated, you know, that old design and plan that they have for that game, and they try to, you know, make it into what they wanted to from back then, and it's still not looking too good. I don't know, but I gotta say, man, I was really happy with those Sega announcements, man, because they focusing on a lot of Sonic, but not, and they have such a wide array of games. Like I told you about Daytona 2, right? That's in that new Yakuza game. I forget the name with that complex name. Forgotten something or other, right?
Oh, the Man Forgotten Name or something.
Yeah, Man Forgotten Name or something like that. And Daytona 2 works really great on that. Digital Foundry did a video where they explained, you know, how accurate it is compared to the emulator. And bro, fun, and it controls real well. It doesn't take too long to get to the point. In like 15 minutes, you can get to a point where you can you get to the arcade and play that game in the arcade within that Yakuza game. So yeah, real happy with Sega. And so the Game Awards had a couple of things here and there, you know, for a lot of people game wise. So, and the show wasn't a waste of time like it often is. But there was a lot of bad things about it.
I just can't stand Horseface Jeff. That's it, man.
He's got cool shoes, but look, like when y'all were talking about like Overdose, right?
Overdose. Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to get excited about that game. It kind of seems like they want to make a movie, so kind of like that movie with the girl in it that they came, like the FLV games. That's what it's kind of giving me that feel, where it's like it's not really a game, it's like an interactive movie to the second power.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I hope
you know what I mean, because you got because if you listen to like the way that they described it, it's you have some control, but it kind of feels like it's going to be along the lines
like
of an FLV game.
Not QuickTime, but one of those like select an option. Which way?
FLV. Yeah. And so like I'm not hyped about that. I got to see more.
Kind of like have you played or seen Late Shift?
That one, like that. That's FLV game.
Yep.
So like
that actually is pretty good though. If you haven't played it.
Well, most of them are, right?
Yeah.
But like you got to be in the right mode. It's just like saying Telltale games are good.
Mm-hmm.
Or Dragon Quest and stuff like that, you mean?
Well, Dragon Quest is a RPG though.
No, that's not Dragon Quest. I'm sorry. Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair.
Yeah. I remember those.
The game I liked was Road Avenger because it was like
I could never advance in that freaking game.
And even though it's an FMV game, it like, because you were basically driving a car and you basically had to go left, right, gas, brake, boost. It at least made sense with the thing.
Yeah.
But what you were just alluding to there with Dragon's Lair, yeah, that game was very complicated because you had to have perfect timing.
Yes.
And what in the animation didn't help to dictate in your mind what you might need to press next. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Road Adventure, it's a racing. Well, it's not a racing game, but you're in a car. You're driving a car, and you see what's happening in front of you. So you expect, I'm probably gonna have to turn left or turn right, or I'm probably gonna have to brake or gas or any combination thereof. You know, it made sense. And those best FMV games and QuickTime events in games, like the best of them, like you already are planning and know what you have to press.
Yeah. Even
before it pops up on the screen, because they kind of are teaching you subliminally, right? Like, and there was a game in the 360, I forget the name, but something where it had like a telekinetic lesbian sniper, and the game was very aware of it because there was another character who was like, how many lesbian telekinetic snipers do you know? Blah blah blah. But it had certain parts where it had like quick time events, and usually with quick time events they show the button on screen. Yeah. But after a while of pressing left and pressing B, because you notice press left, move left in the cutscene, you press A for you attack, B for block, and then after a while they stop putting the things on screen to slowly you're being taught what to do in the QuickTime event. The best QuickTime events or FMV games have that element to it. Road Adventure did, Dragon Lair did not.
Agent E chimes in and says, did they confirm that Blade will be an Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
We're confirming that it is, so trust me, bro.
I don't know. I mean, Aaron Greenberg putting that Blade picture with the Xbox glasses on that should help quell the concerns and tell the ponies to just buy an Xbox.
Right.
Honestly, okay. Every time Xbox announces a game that isn't Halo, Gears of Forza, or from a former third party, they have to hope. They sit around hoping, prayer circling, that the game will be multiplayer. Like why? Just like go buy an Xbox. Look, I bought a PlayStation. I've got a PlayStation 2. Just in case they have something, right? I bought it. I was going to try the games that they told me were bangers all of that generation. I beat those games.
The bangers.
But like if PlayStation had if PlayStation buys Rockstar, I'm not going to cross my fingers and hope that Rockstar stays making Xbox games.
Exactly.
If they bring Bully back, PlayStation buys them and say their announcement is Bully's coming. I'm not gonna sit around hoping that it's multiplayer. I'm gonna go buy a PlayStation so that I can play Bully because I want to play Bully. I got Bully on PC, Bully on the Switch, Bully on Xbox. Like I want to play Bully 2. If Bully 2 comes back, I want to play.
Bully, 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 rockets everywhere. No?
Yeah. Okay, but like these PlayStation guys, they have to sit around hoping with every announcement it's gonna be multiplayer. It's gonna be multiplayer. No, just stop. Just stop. If it's not a multiplayer game, a massive multiplayer online game, don't even expect it on PlayStation. And if you do, that's your fault.
Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. I never played Bully.
Me neither.
I think Realist just left.
Yeah, because you're waiting for the reaction that didn't come.
I was waiting his reaction.
I never played it either. I've never played it either.
I never played it. I think he dropped his headphones and said, "I'm out."
Well, I was about to make some noise.
He's like, "I am out."
But yeah, it's basically Grand Theft Auto in prep school.
Oh, is it?
You're at a private school, and
and you're not the bully though. Actually, like that's what because
you become the bully because at first you're just a badass kid.
Yeah.
But then you meet this guy. He teaches you techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
About how to fight, but it's like Grand Theft Auto at school.
Did not know. I mean, I knew it took place in a school. I just didn't know what it was about or what you do in it. I did get bullied, Punty. Stop reminding me. Stop bringing back bad memories.
You got bullied.
Agent E chimes in again. Says, if we can't have the new Wolverine game that's coming soon for PlayStation, then PS5 games. This game blocked here. Gamers don't deserve to have Blade. I'm just saying too.
Yeah, man.
They got their Spider-Man. They got the Wolverine. We can have Blade.
And we'll just get an Xbox, make sure.
Look, why y'all think PlayStation trying to wrestle power from Bungie? It's like the one acquisition we make.
Scam. Like Bungie got scammed big time.
Look, the one acquisition we make, we can't control them. and Xbox is
Yep.
over here making exclusives.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
but they
that was a total scam, man. Like Sony said, we got $2 billion. Take control, but here's the fine print. If this happens, then we take control, and that's exactly what happened. And now they're taking man. Bungie got greedy, and they took the money. Got all arrogant, thinking they're gonna keep control of everything. They're gonna hit the numbers, the financial numbers. Didn't go well. Didn't go their way. And now Sony's doing their thing, like just a takeover, a hostile takeover. Get out the way. Boom, move, bitch. It's sad.
Get out the way.
It's sad. It's sad.
But yeah, time. I think that's perfect timing.
Punty's
Can't hit.
Punty's like Sony clapped his cheeks. Yep.
Sony's cheeks are the ones that's getting clapped. It didn't watch out.
Yeah. All right.
No, those cheeks are as good as clap. But go ahead and end it up.
All right.
Like
So-
I honestly, like other than console sales, like what are they offering their customers?
PSVR
You know what I mean?
2,
It's
man.
like-
PSVR 2.
All they do is sit around talking about console sales instead of talking about games, right? They won't talk about games. They won't talk about, a roadmap. They'll keep talking about console sales, and that's where Sony wants them.
And DSCs and remasters.
Forgetting, dude. Okay, you want to end the show?
No, what's up? What
Because-
you gotta say?
No, because look, everybody and the mama has something to say about Halo missing this or missing that. When PlayStation is basically stretching out these single player one and dones by holding off modes that should have been there at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Once you finish the game, that mode should have been available to you there at launch.
Yep.
Basically, PlayStation is releasing these games half done, right?
Yep.
Because just because you call it a DLC, that does not change anything. That should have been done already.
To kind of extend the life, like trying to the extension of that game. Say like Spider-Man,
Basically,
because they don't have the
look,
New Game Plus.
Spider-Man's got New Game Plus coming.
That should have been
Starfield had that day one.
Yeah.
Halo had that. Like, come on. Like, these are things that should be there at launch. But you don't hear the same outrage about these games, that you would hear about an Xbox game. That's like, man, this is why I can't even take a lot of these people seriously, these content creators that create things just to talk about. Because they're not talking about things equally. You're talking about Xbox tax. I guess even the so-called Xbox community tax is Xbox as well, because they don't match the energy that they give Xbox when it comes to PlayStation.
Yep.
New Game Plus should have been there, right? This new mode that Ragnarok is adding, it's free. It should have been there at launch. They charge you $70 for that game.
And that's what, a 2-year-old game now?
I don't know. Last year came out.
Is it?
Last year.
God, it feels longer.
Yeah, because they don't release any games, right? So, like Xbox has no games, right? Xbox has been dropping first-party games, and the whole time people have been saying Xbox has no games. Xbox has no games.
That's why we all.
But like
dismiss
when it comes to PlayStation, they drop Spider-Man. Next year, they're gonna give a bootleg Tecmo Ninja game. They're gonna give them another Final Fantasy game, right? And then maybe Stellar Blade. None of that is first party.
What about Concord?
And all those are games. Is that
Who
cares?
cares?
I don't know.
Who cares?
I mean, like everything else is getting delayed or canceled.
Yeah.
But let's just say they do have Concord. Are they gonna play it? I hope they do
No.
for Sony's sake.
You're right, but
I hope they
really?
do.
No. You hope, but
I
you
hope
know
they do.
probably won't. Of course,
You know what I mean?
I don't want Sony to die, but
Let's just
But-
say
but
that
you want them
Xbox
to
had
hurt,
no
though,
games.
huh?
Look,
they
look,
already hurt. That's already happening now. I don't need any more than this.
look at what Sea of Thieves started, right? It was just boats and water, right? It is what it is today. But let's just say that Sea of Thieves was full fledged. right? It came out, it had actual content. And that was the only thing Xbox threw at you. Is that a good year for Xbox? You know what I mean? If PlayStation throws out Concord, is that a good year? Is that really a good year for PlayStation? No.
They'll act like it is. They'll act like it is, though. Of course.
No. I mean, yeah, and then the so-called Xbox content creators will let them get by.
Mm-hmm.
But PlayStation is getting away with murder. PlayStation is getting away with things that but people like Nintendo games. Like they'll get away with doing things like that because if you look at what they've done to Mario, look at what they've done to Mario Kart 8. You know what I mean? People didn't care.
Oh shit.
Basically, they probably tasked them with adding that to the game so that they can have something else to talk about that was first party. Right? You look at what happened with Returnal. It gets a co-op mode a year later, and it does not even a quarter, not even 15% of what Halo does.
Yeah,
like a year later,
and
then look at Ghost of Tsushima. It took like a year and a half before it got Legends mode. Like these are the things that PlayStation's been getting by with that Xbox doesn't. Xbox can't. Right? And Xbox has been giving us single player and multiplayer games since they've been in existence. They've been giving us both modes. Which is why they don't need to cancel their multiplayer games because they know that if Rare wants to start a new multiplayer game, maybe they don't have the expertise, but we've got teams with the expertise. They've been concentrating on this. PlayStation's in a heap of trouble, man, because these one and dones don't sell enough, and they don't make them enough money.
That's right.
They're gonna have to figure something. They're gonna have to figure something out. Like, look, they can make the best movie games ever, but I'm starting to hear more and more people say what I've been saying since I saw these games. Can we get back to gameplay, please?
Yep.
That's the one thing that Nintendo never lost sight of.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been predicated on gameplay. And Sony was successful in deterring us from looking at actual gameplay. They give us pretty graphics and 5 out of 10 gameplay, but it's so pretty. No, and I hope the Xbox never takes that route. I hope that Arcane and other studios like them who have their own art style continue to shine. Hi-Fi Rush, games like that, high performance. Because look, that's what I said. Could you imagine if Xbox? I said this before Everwild was even announced. Could you imagine if Xbox put out a game like Breath of the Wild? Could you imagine how that performs? You look at Breath of the Wild, it can hit 30 sometimes. Imagine a game like Everwild. It should be hitting 120, no problem, with great gameplay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that us as quote unquote gamers should be talking about, not not graphics and cutscenes. I understand they want to tell a compelling story. Well, you got role play games for that. Like Baldur's Gate, supposed game of the year. You got point and click games for that because they're gonna put so much into how it looks. See, and this is why I don't understand the love that Baldur's Gate is getting. Yeah, it's a good story. It's a good game. I'm tired of people calling them an indie studio. Tencent gave them money. They had over 400 people on staff. That's not indie. They're just indie by classification. They're trying to give them the same props that you would give a 20-man team like what was that one that Xbox just bought? Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, yeah.
It's not the same. You take money from Tencent. You got over 400 people on staff. It's not the same. But they got the love and recognition as if they did more with less. It's not the same as Ninja Theory making Hellblade with 20 people. It's not. And I played Baldur's Gate. I like it until it puts me to sleep. I play it every now and then. But I don't understand how us gamers, we sit around and talk about games. I don't understand how the media gets swayed into certain things. Like, I didn't play Spider-Man. I don't have any interest after not finishing Spider-Man 1. But I'm kind of with the ponies on that. There's no way that game is some type of bar to be set. And it beats out, Starfield, Spider-Man. Hell, even Alan Wake. Like, Alan Wake does more than Baldur's Gate. Yes. Baldur's Gate is literally a point and click game, bro. Literally a point and click game. All you need is a mouse. You know, and it's like
And you make
it's just
choices.
so much. It's just so much that go now. Yeah, your choices affect the game. It goes
And that's
back to
it.
what the very essence of an RPG is. Great,
Yep.
but it's not a technical
Nope.
achievement. Like
Not at all.
it's just like Overdose, right? Overdose can look great, but Death Stranding is more of a technical achievement than Overdose, even though Overdose might look better.
Well, I don't even know if we could say that at all, one way or another, because we don't even really know what it is. All we know that's something to do with the cloud. Now we got some famous actors and directors involved. We still really know.
Bro, he used the word interactive movie, bro.
But you can say that with all of these things, you know, and particularly Kojima's work, right?
Bro,
Like,
I talk
so,
junk about PlayStation games, but they're a little bit more than interactive movies. They are movie
no. I
games,
mean,
as far as I'm concerned.
I agree, but I mean Kojima stuff specifically, right? Particularly this, the way it's looking for now, because we know that little. We know that little. All we saw was two people screaming into the camera, as if it reminds me of that scene in the Animatrix, right? Remember the two episodes? You remember that episode of Animatrix where they explained the history of how the machines took over and they were experimenting on building the Matrix. So they show you that one shot of some poor human who's hooked up to some wires, and the control is his emotions. Sometimes you see him laughing and you see him crying, and that's what that reminded me of. If you don't know the scene in the animations that I'm talking about, you know, the Animatrix, it was like 8 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was the one episode where they explained how the machines took over and they beat the humans in war and all that stuff. And then you'll see at the very end there. And when you see that and you compare, you're like, oh, that's exactly what that reminded me of. Now, is this game got anything to do with that? Or are they trying to, do something in that regard? I have no idea what this game is about. All we know is that there's famous actors and directors involved, and probably more that we don't even know about is what they're alluding to, and that there's cloud technology involved and stuff like that. But in terms of the game and what's supposed to be, we don't know nothing.
Yeah.
It could be action, it could be a platform, it could be a whole new genre. We don't even know that. So I can't call it to say it is or isn't anything.
Well, good talk, man. Time to wind it down. We're over the 2-hour mark. And it was good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Lots happened with
You sound sleepy.
No, I'm not. It's just my legs are starting to fall asleep here. I haven't stayed up.
Bro, you gotta walk around.
I know I gotta walk. I need to get a wireless mic and
Getting old.
I am getting old. Dude, I'm 48, bro.
He's the oldest of us. He's the oldest among us.
I'm 4'8".
Well, I'm fo right behind. Pause.
Oh, geezer.
I went to a lacrosse game with a friend of mine the other day. All the family, both our families went, and somehow we got talking about age. I don't know. I think we were just cracking on each other about something. And I told him, I said, "Dog, I'm 48." And he's like, "You're 48?" And I go, "Yeah." Dude, I thought you were younger. So I thought you were, like I think he was 40. I think he's 42, and he thought I was like 44 or something like that, close to his age. It's like, no, man. And so I know I look good and shit, but come on now. I'm 48. I'm 48, man. I don't have that much gray hair yet. That's the thing.
You see me. Yeah.
I got very small, like I'll have a hair here, maybe one in the back, but I haven't had that covered gray yet. So,
oh no,
I'm sure
on my head I don't have that at all, not at all.
So, who knows?
Just on my face.
Like I'll pluck one out of here on my beard, and like the next day I see another. It's like, what the hell, dude? I just plucked you out of here.
Well, the old wives' tale. The more you pluck out, they start to.
Yeah, somebody else told me
more
that
you get.
too. Yeah. So, all right, Punty and anybody else who's in the chat, thanks for hanging out.
Yes.
I think what's next week? Next week is good. I think next week I'll still be around. So, I know Christmas week, maybe not. So we'll see.
Where you going to Aspen?
for Christmas week. No, I'll be in Houston. I'll be down there.
Okay.
I'll be down there.
You always seem to be doing something cool.
I'll be there from the 23rd through the 26th. I'll be in Houston. We'll see it's our turn to go down there.
Choo choo train.
Choo choo. Oh, Choo Choo Charles. That's coming out on Xbox soon.
I knew you were gonna bring that up.
Choo Choo Charles coming to Xbox soon. I don't know when, but the dev is working on.
For real?
Yeah.
I knew he was in being.
He's working on a console, and he made some claims, not claims, but posts on Twitter about it's coming soon. So I don't know when that soon is. So Choo Choo Charles, man, go and get it. It's a fun game. I like it.
Is it really fun, bro?
It is fun. It is fun because you got that damn train coming after you. You're like freaking like, holy cow, here he comes. And I had my little son, like he was right next to me watching the whole thing. He'll freak out, like he'll run behind the couch because it's Choo Choo Charles coming in, this big old spider just coming after you, and he's a train. And all you hear from a distance is the choo choo, like, oh crap, he's coming, right? And all you want to do is just sit still. You don't want to move because like any noise you make, he's gonna see you, and you can't get away. Like if you're running, you're done for. But if you're on a train, you have a chance. If you're on the train, so yeah.
I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one, man. Hey, but y'all didn't talk much about Hellblade real quick, bro. That thing looks outstanding, and it was running on the Xbox Series X.
Oh,
absolutely. Can't wait to see that fully. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Yes. Well, dang it. There he goes. All right. Good night, guys, and we're out of here. Bye.
Good night, bye. Peace.